Right, guys, here we are back on Friday night 9 ball, and it's the first one we've done for a few weeks, but the same rules apply. It's a working day for me tomorrow, so we'll do as many matches as we can get in up until about 10:30, and then we have to pull the plug. We have to go to bed, but there looks to be a reasonable turnout. Let's have a quick look and see how many's in. And it's about 3 minutes to 8 o'clock, top of the hour. Tournament starts at 8. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in. And we've got a mixture of talent. We've got champions down to B-rated players, but the tournament is now back to multiple money ball. It had been run a few weeks there where it was just a rack handicap, and it was always going to be the same outcome, like I said it would. Somebody like Larry or somebody of that quality was only ever going to win a tournament of this nature when it's a rack handicap. And I think the other thing is it takes the pressure off the big guys as well. The lower rated guys have got a much better chance with the money ball handicap, albeit the complaints are when they start fluking balls and winning racks that way, but at the end of the day it probably evens out in the long run. The pressure's on the big guys not to make mistakes, and that's where the game's won or lost with the money ball handicap, because anybody can pot a ball to win a rack, and this is what makes it more even in the long run. So we should be about ready to have a bracket at some point. I've got the chat on my screen, and I am not seeing anything. Let's have a look. Hang on a wee sec. Right, I should be with you in a wee second. The bracket should be up, but I'm not seeing the chat on my screen. Just give me a second, hopefully I'll get this. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work. It was working earlier on when I tested it. Let's see. Right, I can see it now up on the screen. well, I can see this, some text coming through, but my overlay thing has just locked up just now. Right, now I saw it there for a second, it's now disappeared. Just hang on. I'll just get this thing to actually paste into place, it'll be working. It would have to happen. Right, it says ready and waiting for new messages, so it should be working now. Right, so we have a bracket up, and well, first match we got Tin against WizKid. Right, somebody, if anybody's watching the stream, if you just type something in just to see it's working on the screen, please. We've got Tin versus WizKid. WizKid's getting a 5 ball. We've got Gunnit playing Simanx. Simanx is getting a 6 ball. Larry is playing Columbus. Columbus is getting 6 and out. Popman is playing Dirties, and Dirties is getting the 8 ball. And Stefan playing Semi-Pro. Stefan getting the 8 ball. And DJ Simon against Bedhead. Simon's getting the 5 ball. What the hell's happened here now? Things are going from bad to worse. Right, well the chat doesn't seem to be working, so if anybody's typed anything I'm not seeing it. I need to just get it up on my second monitor and just keep looking across. We've got a Hero Men Kill against Casino Jim, and one pocket. In fact, Casino Jim's getting the 6 ball, I think that is, and One Pocket Slim's playing Black Hole. That's a name I've never seen, and he's getting 5 and out. Race to 7 in the first round. Now, one more check at this thing to see what happens. Right. Once again, a quick plea. If anybody's watching this, can you type something in the chat to see if it comes up in this window? If it doesn't, it's broken. I put the URL in for the chat and it doesn't seem to want to work. So it'll just have to. Oh, I see it now when I'm back in. It must be just running laggy because I've got. I'm looking at the quality of the stream, and the stream quality is not great at the moment, but it should hopefully settle down. Right. Anyway, let's see what match we should get and look at here. We've got Tin against WizKid. Stefan against Semi-Pro sounds a good match. Let's dive in and watch that one. Semi-Pro, of course, the recent winner of the 8-ball bar table world championship, beating Frankel in a final rack decider in that tournament that seemed to take forever, and a strong favourite for this match. But you know, Stefan, if he can hold himself together, he should give Semi-Pro a game here. So Stefan is getting the 8-ball, which basically means that Stefan has to pot some balls to win a rack, and he's capable of doing that. More than capable of doing it. Well, I was testing that Marillis Action software the other day. I did a few stream tests, and it's good and it's bad and it's ugly. It's got an overlay thing as well. that allows me to do arrows and things, but I don't like it from the point of view that you have to be in desktop mode for it to work. I much prefer XSplit Gamecaster for Virtual Pool 4 for this purpose. Stefan's saying hello. I'll say hello back to the chaps. Semi-pro. Well, I think he's maybe a bit straight in this 8 ball. He might try to stun it in and just stun up the table a bit. Yeah. He's gone a bit square, but he's very much used to the bar table, not the bar table, the pub table, so he's adapting to the 9-foot table. And just to mention as well, something that's bothering me, well, not so much bothering me, but just puzzling as to why a game like Shooter's Pool has now launched a partnership with another table company, and they've got another new table, a Rasen table brand, as well as there's a Chinese 8-ball table. I can't remember the name of the company, but there are 3 companies now signed up with Shooter's Pool, where they've got branded tables in the game. The game comes free with the update that you get to the game, and all these tables look very nice. And it's just a shame that Virtual Pool 4, which, you know, Virtual Pool we all thought was the best game, and we all still think it's the best game, but you know, it just cannot attract any big names, and Celadus haven't been very forthcoming with the manufacturers to get brand sponsorship for their tables. All they have is just standard in-game tables that are made for the game, but there is no brand allegiance to them, so there's no recognised brands to attract people to play in the tables. But does that really matter? I wonder what you guys think. And the only thing I would still say about Shooter's Pool is it's just a bit clunky to get used to. But probably if Virtual Pool 4 died tomorrow and you were only left with that game as a choice, you'd probably end up getting used to it. I just cannot get into the swing of it when I've tried it. But in terms of looks and everything, it definitely looks far better than Virtual Pool 4 when you look at the nice tables that they've got now. That's the impression I get, and especially when they're introducing branded table products into the game. It just seems that Virtual Pool 4's letting itself fall behind. But it won't swamp Virtual Pool 4 in terms of overtaking Virtual Pool 4 as far as customers go, because although there's not an awful lot of people play Virtual Pool 4 online, there's a lot less play Shooter's Pool online, and that's the worst thing about these two games, is just there's not enough people, not so much interested in the game, but they're just not interested in any online competitive stuff. They just don't like getting beaten, and that's why people don't play online. There are lots of people who have the games offline, we all know that, but unfortunately they're just not competitive and they don't want to play people. And you've seen what it's like in the lobby. People run away, people quit. There's a childish attitude when it comes to playing the game. It's just a game, and a bit of competition doesn't do you any harm, but a lot of people are like that. They like the success and they like beating the AI, and they don't like playing online, and that's the downside to both games. It doesn't matter how nice your game looks, it just won't attract the people because the interest isn't there. That's it. That's what it's going to be like. How is that normal for a champ with a similar rating to only need one ball less? Well, there's what? there's 70, let's say 70 odd points difference, and you know, one ball, it's probably on the borderline in terms of the handicap. It's probably in the borderline. If there was another couple of points there, there probably wouldn't have been any handicap. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be worried about that. If I was Stefan, I'd be worried about making use of that 8 ball and whether he can get to the 8 ball. So semi-pro, straight in 9 ball for a 2 racks to 1 lead. So it's all, I can't remember, is this still, I think it's winner breaks, the tournament. Well, attempted safety there. I don't know whether there's enough of this this yellow ball to actually pot it in the middle. Yes, there is. Now, has he got enough of that 2 ball to pot as well? It looks as if he might be able to. I think he might be able to squeeze that in. There might just be enough. And of course that was the problem. Traffic in the way. Well, Stefan, with a rating of 2,118, you're a champ. But you're a champ pretending to be a pro. So semi-pro has played the bank safety. Cue ball in behind the 9, but not as tight as it needs to be to prevent a jump shot. But although you can't get to the 3 ball clear, but you can actually jump over the 9 to get to the side rail. You can jump over the 9 to get to there and hit the 3 that way, but you're probably more than likely going to scratch doing that. And there is a path, well, there was a path off the right hand side, but Stefan didn't read it. So now semi-pro's got ball in hand. First thing he's going to have to do here is try and break this 4 ball out. And he's missed that opportunity. The simple reason he's missed that is he didn't give himself the right angle in the 3 ball in the first place. Now that was a bit poor. Ball in hand, he should have had that 4 ball broken out, no problem. Well, this is where Stefan needs to get wise. He needs to be playing a good safety here behind the 8 and the 7 ball and getting that 4 ball up the table and not getting too ambitious. Well, he's got the 4, and now he's got to follow it up. And this little gentle roll up here in the 6. Now you've got to be careful with this 6 ball, because see where the 7 ball is. You don't want to be running into the 8 ball when you pot the 7. Now he's dead straight. I think he's got a slight angle he can squeeze through behind the 8 ball and off the side rail, but he's not getting to it enough. He wanted to miss that 8 ball. He's actually okay, but that's not what he played. I don't believe he played that. He played to come around it and avoid it. But it's going to be 2 racks all. 8 ball into the middle. That's the money ball. Well, you see what I mean about these champ players being under pressure. Semi-Pro is a perfect example of that. He's letting it bother him. And he shouldn't be letting it bother him. He should just be getting on with playing. But as it is, it's 2 racks also. There's always that little thing in the back of the mind with this extra money ball. Now, again, if you look at this table, there isn't a problem ball in the table. The only problem is whether Stefan can manoeuvre this cue ball. And if he can, and there's plenty of room, a big window in the middle of the table to go on that 3 ball, and that was poor. That wasn't a great shot, but he's now making it difficult for himself. He can still cut this and he can still go around the angles. He needs to get the pace right though, and he's way short. This is why players like Stefan end up getting themselves in trouble, because they haven't got that feel for the shot. I keep going on about it every time I watch a stream. If you get your mouse dialed in, you're in full control of the pace of the shots on the ball, and you can get it to go more or less where you want it to go more often than not. And when you can do that, you can pop balls and you can run racks. So Stefan had a good chance there. He's got a thin one on this 4. That's not going to get there, I don't think. And well, this is where you'd expect Semi-Pro to punish Stefan, but this is not easy to go on this 5 ball. He has to judge the pace, and he's done not too bad. How does that look? Well, he's got a little angle. He can run through with right hand spin. He's taken into the middle. Now he's left himself an angle here. Well, he's dead. He's got to force this now. Got to force this 6 in, and he can only come back the way, and that's not bad. And he has to be careful as well. He doesn't hook himself behind the 9. He needs to leave this 8 ball in the open. He's going to run over to the right unless he just stuns over. Well, he's banked it, and that was well, unconventional, and he's left himself an awkward cut in the 8. But he's going to win the rack and go back into the lead. So 3-2 to Semi-Pro. And we're into rack number 6. There's something dropped. I don't know what it was yet, but what is it, the 6 ball that's gone? 6 ball has gone. A thin one on the 1. Yes, good evening to everybody in the stream. Now this is a delicate little touch shot as well. If you're just going to run the 3 in and find the right pace to go on that 4. And he's just overrun it a touch, but he can still cut it into the middle. Now he needs to get a nice kiss off this 8 ball. And just squeeze down for the 5 into the middle, and he's okay. And this is what, again, I keep emphasising this as well. When you have players who are champs at the game, who basically know what they're doing, they know how to manoeuvre the ball, this is what you're expecting them to do. You're not expecting them to do anything less than this. So why they should be worried about money ball handicaps is beyond me. The simple reason is you're expected to run tables when the ball's on the open, and if you don't do it, you're going to get punished. And semi-pro is just running a rack, which is what you'd expect him to do. So that's a rack run again, and it's 4-2. And this is now with a scratch off the break. Here's the perfect example. This is where a player like Stefan has to stop and just think exactly what he's doing here. He's got to get from that 3 up to the 4. And straight away, he's run through too far. You know, that's a basic error immediately when you look at the shot, because he's now left himself a lot more to do, and he's out of line, and he's way high in the 4. Now, there's a basic thing that you have to get right. Until you start doing things right, you're always going to struggle to run racks and leave yourself difficult shots like that 4. And now he's got an even more difficult shot. He's 9 feet from the 5 ball, and he's got to get back up for the 6. And this is going to kiss nice, I think. Oh, well, maybe not. I think he's too close. But now he has to again get wise. He needs to play the safety, which he's done. Well, let's see what semi-pro's like with a jump stick. He'll be going for the jump in the pot. There's the result came in. Bedhead against DJ Simon. And Bedhead winning 7-1. And no doubt Simon was getting a money ball there, but Bedhead doesn't make too many mistakes, and that's the sort of result you'll get. And semi-pro meanwhile has duly jumped over the 9 ball, potted the 6, sitting nice on the 7. He'll be nice in the 8 in a second or two. Now, what does he do? Does he roll it in dead weight and leave the 9 across into the right middle, or does he come off the top rail and into the middle of the table for the 9 into the right pocket? It's into the right pocket. So, semi-pro now has a nice little gap. 5 racks to 2, and Stefan is now up against it. But that rack there was the prime example of the break leading to a scratch by semi-pro, ball in hand with Stefan, and immediately he got himself out of line, and that's why he threw away his chance. You've got to take your game to the next level. If you're going to keep playing the game, you have to strive to improve your game. And you'll only do that by getting things in place, getting the mouse right, and getting that feel for the shots, and also taking your time and thinking about what you're doing. You put all of these things together, you're going to be a reasonable player to play against. And you're going to give most people a good match, but if you throw away good chances like that, then you're always just going to be there or thereabouts, but not quite there. Now, there's a couple of results come in as well. A Hero Men Kill versus Casino Jim. And Casino Jim has won that match, and Larry has beaten Columbus by 7 racks to 2. Remember, it's double elimination, and each player's going to get a second chance. And once again, semi-pro at the table. Going to have to probably run around the corner here and avoid the 9. And he's avoided the 9. A wee bit too much juice on it. Now he's in the sort of no man's land, but he can roll the 7 in. And he'll be on the 9. So it's looking comfortable now for semi-pro. And I think it's now gone beyond the point where this match could turn. Well, a couple of balls have eventually just dropped in, and the 1 and the 8 ball have gone. The 2 ball certainly isn't cutting into the middle. He might try and cross bank it, but I think the 4's in the way, so that option's gone. And he's tried to play the 2-9 combo, and he's got away with it. 9 balls covered the 2, and Stefan needs to get lucky. And I don't think he has. Nope, that will go past the 6 ball, and this is Semi-Pro's chance to tidy up the match. Well, he played that with a lot of drag to give himself a sight in the 3, and he's still got a shot. Again, he can run off the 2 rails, or even 3. Now he's the wrong side, is he? Let's have a look. Yeah, he's going to have to force this, or he's going to leave a long cut in the 5. Well, he's going to leave the long 5. The reason for that was these 2 balls here. If he tried to run around the angles, he was probably going to collide with them. So that's why he's left himself long. And he's just holding position. A little bit more tighter cut in this 6 than he probably wanted. And so, Semi-Pro is going to get a comfortable win in his first match, in the first match of the tournament, and he wins by 7 racks to 2. And we'll have a look at the bracket and see how that goes. So that's a few results that come through. Now this bracket, let's get the time setting that to update a bit quicker. Well, Tin and WizKid are tied at 4 racks all. Simanx is 5-2 up against Gunnet. That result from Larry's through there. Popman is still playing Dirties. In fact, that match is crawling. It's only 2-1 to Dirties. I don't think any of them can pot a ball the way it's going. Or they're both falling asleep, one of the two. Stefan, there's the result with Semi-Pro. It's just came through. Well, there's a good match we're going to watch next, because that's going to be Semi-Pro against Bedhead. So we've got 2 high-class players up against one another. Bedhead you'd expect to be the favourite, being more the 9-ball player than Semi-Pro. In this case, Semi-Pro's the one that's going to be getting the extra money ball. He's getting the 7-ball. We've got Casino Jim waiting to play the winner of One Pocket Slim and Black Hole. Now, Black Hole, who's getting 5 and out, well, he's 6-2 up against Slim. And, well, Slim's going to struggle there. And meanwhile, we'll dive in and we'll watch this match between these 2 guys. We're expecting some good quality. And we're already in the first rack. So, Semi-Pro, top of the HUD, is getting the 7-ball. Well, there's no opportunity here to bank the 1, so what's Bedhead going to try? He's going to try and hide the cue ball up amongst those balls at the top right-hand corner. He's in danger of leaving a jump shot to pot the 1, though, doing that. Well, that's a bit weak. I don't think he's going to get there. He's underhit that. Yep. Underhit it quite a bit. Now, is there a 2-9 combo on here? And more importantly, can Semi-Pro get up the table? He can certainly make the 2-9 combo. Well, he won't do it now that he's hit the 4. But that was a pot. He might actually try and billiard the 9 here in off this 2. He might have a slam at it. He's had a go at it there. It was a more controlled shot than a slam, but he had a little go. And there's that result came in there. Black Hole 7-2 against one pocket slim. I don't know whether this black hole guy is somebody who's changed their name, or whether Slim was just making too many mistakes, or whether black hole's actually a lot better than his rating suggests. I don't know. I've never seen him. I don't know how he shoots. But anyway, we're in the first rack. Bedhead at the table. And he's overcooked that slightly. Well, he's going to have to dig into this one. Draw right off this 5 ball. There's a big pocket with the 9 ball in there, but he needs to bounce. Now, well, that is extremely tight, but he has to just miss the 8 ball and he can cheat it in off the jaw. If he hits it hard enough off the jaw, it'll go in off the 9. He certainly needs to just squeeze past that 8 ball. And I think he can use the 9 ball. In fact, I'd be more inclined to try that and give it a little bit of a slam. It's bound to go in. It'd be really unlucky if it didn't. What's he doing? He's playing safe. Didn't he fancy it? But at the same time, if you don't fancy it, then you make sure you play a damn good safety shot, and that isn't too bad. Semi-pro gets the kick. How's his luck? Well, there's no way he's making that as a combo. But he can maybe try and just sneak in behind the 9 and push that 6 onto the rail. But if he does that, Semi-pro will bank it in. Oh, I think he can get to it. He can just get up maybe a little feather of English. Oh, he's put too much on it. He's put too much on it. He needed a little feather of left-hand English there just to make the angle. When he was coming down here, he needed a little feather just to get it up that direction, but he actually got it that direction where he hit the knuckle. He just got a bit too much on it. Not easy to judge. So Bedhead has his chance. Well, I think he can just stun this 7 ball in and stun up to the middle pocket, can he not? Oh no, he's decided to come across. So eventually Bedhead, with a couple of chances, is now going to win the first rack. Well, there's a few balls thought about going in, nothing went, so Semi-pro's got a 1-2-8 combo coming up here. That is dead set. And that's worked out very nice. He's opened up the 1, left the 1 portable. And a little dig into this cue ball, just come off the rail and out for the 2. So, you'd expect Semi-pro to run out here. No problems. The only problem's the 4 and the 6 ball. That 6 ball is acting as a blocker, and you have to be a wee bit careful to make that combo because it's sitting on the point. He's got to get it right, and then you've got to be careful with where the 4 ball's going to run to. So, it's not quite cut and dried. He has to just get this right. Well, he's still got the pot and it's off the rail, I think. Let's have a quick shifty at that. Yeah, he's good. So remember that Semi-pro is getting the 7 ball. So he just needs to pot this and we're all square. Now, anybody still watching the stream, can you let me know what the quality is like, because it's coming up amber on the monitor. It's coming up for amber for quality, meaning that it's not too good. But I'm looking at it and the stream looks good to me. I don't see any stutter or lag. No, I'm getting nothing coming up in this bloody chat on screen at all. It was coming up for a wee second or two, but it's not again. Yeah, I don't know why it's coming up with that amber warning thing. It's you know, it does that for a wee while and then it goes green, but it's still doing it. But the stream health is not green, but it doesn't look bad. I don't know why that chat's not appearing on my bloody screen. That's annoying. It was there for a second or two and then it's gone. Anyway, there's another couple of results came in. WizKid Tin has beaten WizKid and Simanx has beaten Gunnet. I would think that's all the first round matches over now, I think. Unless, oh no, the Popman match is still going on. I think that's going to go on for about 2 hours. Anyway, we're one rack all. Bedhead at the table. Going to have to play the bank on the 5 ball if he's going to keep this run going. Well, it's a good bank, but he's finished absolutely stone dead on this 6 ball with no shot. He's going to try and thin off it and get as far away from it as he can, but he didn't hit it hard enough. And Semi-Pro's going to cut this. No doubt about it. He's going to try and thin this along the rail. That's a good shot. Now, how's his pace? Well, it's going to be a bank into this left-hand corner, I think. Can certainly be easily made. It's not sitting perfect as a bank. He has to pick that point. Well, he's refused it. And, well, Bedhead's going to do the same thing. This 7 ball isn't on the rail. He's going to go for the bank or the cut. And Semi-Pro might live to regret that. If you're going to play safe, you have to get it safe. And that's not dead safe. And that's a great cut. And that's one that's got away for Semi-Pro. It wasn't a good bank on a 7, but as I say, it wasn't impossible to make. You have to just pick the line and make the bank, but he chose to try and get it safe and didn't quite get it safe enough. Especially against Bedhead, you have to get it tight. And Bedhead's pinched one. Now leads 2 racks to 1. And what did we lose there? 3 ball and the 6 ball's gone. And this rack is over. This is dead and buried. And in the bag. Everything's sitting wide open. No problems. And it can only be self-inflicted problems that's going to prevent him from running out here. Oh, that's going to have to run. That's going to have to go. Let's have a look. Well, that's extremely tight. That needs to be tickled into the pocket, that 5 ball. It just goes. Now these shots I like to run through off the rail and come up. He's played that with a lot of inside English to check the cue ball and he's sitting perfect. Absolutely plumb perfect on this 8 ball. A little angle, he can go round the corner forward, 1, 2 and out. And he's staring down the barrel of the 9 ball here. So this for 3-1. So this is where semi-pros not quite gifted a rack to Bedhead in that that third rack, but is he going to capitalise on that 7 ball money ball he's got? He will do if he gets a chance, but that's the thing about a player of Bedhead standard. When he gets a ball and the balls are there to be potted, probably 9 times out of 10 he's going to pot them all. And this is where semi-pro is going to struggle to get a shot. You can just squeeze between that 6 and 7. And he's maybe going to have to try and nudge onto this 2 here. Yeah, I think he was trying to be a wee bit too delicate there, Bedhead, but he's going to leave semi-pro in trouble. Bury him behind the 9 ball. Well, that needs to keep running. Oh, that's ended up a disaster. Well, this might work in semi-pro's favour here. That's what you don't want to happen when you're playing a tight safety, is the object ball to end up in the pocket. So, now what does Bedhead do here? Does he try and hit the 3 ball, which is nigh on impossible because he's too tight to the 9? Or does he try and tie something up here to leave semi-pro in trouble and having to play a breakout or something? Let's see what he does. He's looking as if he's going to try and come off 2 rails to kick this 3. Well, I don't know whether the angle was there, but it's ball in hand to semi-pro, and remember, he only needs to get to the 7 ball. And he needs to leave enough angle on this 4 just to get comfortable onto the 6. Well, I think he's left himself dead straight. Needs to be careful. So this to get back within 1. Fairly straightforward 7 ball, just off the rail. So that was a bit of bad luck there for Bedhead. Played the good tight safety behind the 9 ball, but potted the object ball and left himself in dire trouble. And meanwhile, semi-pro has broken off in rack number 6. It's come up dry. And Bedhead's got a shot in the 1. Now he needs to find that gap. He needs to find that window to get on the 2. Unless he comes across here and out that way. Well, I thought he would have played the cut. That's a strange one to me. He's okay, he's on the 2, but I would have thought he'd have cut that in. Where's the cue ball? I think he's okay. I think he could still see the 2. So, this is now a chance for semi-pro to tie the match. And the similar scenario, balls all wide open. He's got to avoid that 7 if he can when he pots the 2. He doesn't want to hit the 7. Don't know whether he can or he can't. Yes, he can. Just managed to. Now, how's his luck here? Well, he's got plenty of room to jump over that 8 ball. We've seen him do a jump earlier on and he's done okay. There's a result from the 1 lost side. Stefan has beaten DJ Simon by 4 racks to 3. And the jump shot, well, he's misjudged it, got the hit on it. And, well, this is probably an unexpected chance for Bedhead now. That's a big pocket where the 6 ball is. And the 4 ball hanging over the left-hand corner. And really, the problem shot here is getting on the 5. Now, I think he can stun up. I think he can get up that way just to get on the 5. I'm sure he can. I don't think he needs to draw back. Just a little stun draw. Right along the line. Perfect. There, commentator's eye. And same problem off this 6 ball. He doesn't want to get anywhere near that 9 ball. It looks such a big area to get into. He's got a big area on either side of this 9 ball. So basically, with this shot, he can go that way and get on the 7. Or he can come back that way to get on the 7. He's got his choice as to what way he goes. When he's gone up the right hand side, as long as you get past the 9, it doesn't matter. And he's got acres of room to get out onto the 8. And another result, and one pocket slim has beaten a Hero Men kill on the 1 lost side, and that's another final rack decider. Couple of final rack deciders there on the 1 lost side. So Bedhead now opens up the gap again, and it goes to 4 racks to 2. Are you getting buffering now? I would thought that. Well, I did say that it was shown as amber here. I'm looking at the stream on the second monitor, and it all still looks fine. I've not got any buffering, but obviously, depending on how many folk end up watching, there's probably 4 folk watching. So Bedhead plays the safety, and I think well, there's not really any angle off this bottom rail to get to that 1 really. He's played the jump, and the cue ball jumped straight into the middle pocket after the hit. So ball in hand for Bedhead. And there's a result in from Casino Jim and Black Hole. And Black Hole has won that match by 7 racks to 1. So he beat 1 pocket slim in the first match. And he's beaten, I think he beat Slim 7-1 or 7-3. And now he's beaten Casino Jim 7-1. And meanwhile, back at the match that we're watching, Bedhead with ball in hand. Well, it's going to be 3 into the right hand corner, 4 up into the top right hand corner pocket as we look, and 5 into the same pocket as the 3, you would think. And then a little gentle combo for the 7 onto the 8. So it's going to be 5-2 to Bedhead. Oh, that could have so went wrong there. It's ended up okay. So 5-2. Now something went down there. What went down? The 2-ball. And Bedhead's sitting on the 1 here. And Semi-Pro is probably thinking he's not going to get a shot in this rack. This is looking an odds-on breaking run here for Bedhead. You look at the table and you think, where's the problem going to happen here? Again, a quick reminder, guys, in case you didn't hear earlier on, it's the same old story in Friday Night 9-ball. It's a working day for me tomorrow, and I'll go to 10:30 as the cut-off point. It doesn't matter where the tournament's at, that's where I have to get to my bed. So we'll try and get as much in as we can. Now this is the one that needs a delicate little shot off this 6. Just a gentle little roll in, just to hold for a comfortable shot in the 7. It can actually be running through with a 7 and coming off the rail. Give himself a decent angle in the 8-ball or he can kill it. Now is he giving himself the angle? Yes he has. He's got a slight angle. He can actually just stun up the table. Just a little draw up the table. Oh, he's got into it just enough. A wee bit higher than he would like. He'd probably like to have been down near the middle pocket, but he's okay. So it's 6-2 to Bedhead, and that was always in the cards after that break off. The balls are sitting perfect. Well, that 1-ball was going to go in. As it is, it hasn't. So here's Semi-Pro's lifeline, although he's not got a great deal of an opportunity here in the 1-ball. But he needs to do something that's going to get it safe. Well, he went all out for the pot. And that might be his last shot. Now the 2-ball. Well, it isn't going past the 3. So that's the lifeline at the moment for Semi-Pro. Bedhead's going to have to do something here. And it's going to have to be the combo. I'm pretty certain that doesn't go past that. Unless you're going to... I mean, if you look at it from that angle, it'll go in off the jaw, but that is tight. That has got to be hit perfect. Well, he's played the combo and needs a bit of luck. And I don't think he's got it. So now he needs to look to try and hide the cue ball or hide the 2-ball. One of the two. What's he doing? Is he going for the... Oh, he's just nudged it along to the jaws of the middle pocket. Any more than that, he'd have left it on, but he's okay. Oh, now we're going to get the tip tapping, sorry. And WizKid has won by forfeit. Gunnett's fallen asleep or forgotten his second chance or whatever, but either way, he's now out of the tournament. So it's whoever's going to make the first mistake here. 2-ball very adjacent to that middle pocket. And I think that was actually a good shot there by Bedhead. Left Semi-Pro blinded on that 2-ball, had no shot. And Semi-Pro, well, he was trying to tie up the 6, the 7 and the 9-ball there, and he didn't get to it. He fell well short. So just struggling a wee bit there with his touch. Now, provided Bedhead can get down nice on this 5 ball, which he should do. Where's the cue ball going? He's missed the 4 and he's scratched. Well, there you are. You'll never get a better chance than this to stay in the match, really. Ball in hand, a mistake has been made. And the only problem that you've got here, semi-pro, is the fact that that 7 ball, well, it's tight there with the 9 ball, so it's only going into one pocket, and he has to get good on that. And he's got a fair chance of doing that, bear in mind where the 6 ball is. Well, I don't think there's any real problem here. I mean, he can draw off the rail. And once again, he's leaving distance. I would have drawn off the rail with a bit of bottom English. And that would have punched the cue ball up the table. He's now left himself a bit high an angle here. Oh, now what's he done? What's he done here? Well, he's blew it. He's blew it. And, well, that was a golden opportunity there to run that rack. And, well, it's still safe. And Bedhead, well, he went all out for the combo. And now it's going to have to be a 7-9 combo here for semi-pro, because the 7's not going past it. Well, he's tried to squeeze it past the 9. I don't think that was ever on. Well, we're going to have some fun and games up here till somebody scratches into the pocket. Well, semi-pro, is he going for the kick this time? Yes, he is. And he's scratched, and it's game over. So, Bedhead, well, barring anything totally ridiculous here, just a little roll through onto the side rail. Bedhead's going to win the match by 7 racks to 2. And semi-pro blew his chance there to run out that rack, given the lifeline. Oh dear, what's happened here? Bedhead is, well, semi-pros get this generous side to him. He should never have done that. Anyway, Bedhead wins 7 racks to 2. And where are we now? Well, Bedhead's through to play Black Hole. And Black Hole's getting 5 and out. Well, that would be a perfect match to watch to see how somebody like Black Hole's going to cope against Bedhead. Now, he's beaten Casino Jim 7-1. And he's beaten One Pocket Slim 7-2. Now, Slim likes to pot a ball and probably goes for one too many. And he's given Black Hole chances and Black Hole's taking them. Bearing in mind it's 5 and out, so the pressure's on the better player. Black Hole's now against a guy who's not going to make that many mistakes if he gets a chance. And it'd be interesting to see what the outcome of that match is going to be. Meanwhile, I can't believe this Popman and Dirty's match is still going on. It's 6 racks all. Let's jump in there and see what's happening. 6 rack. How long's that? The match has been going on for over an hour. And I think these guys have been slamming balls around the table here, but none of them have been hitting pockets. And that's a tight one against the rail. And Dirties is getting the 8 ball. So Potman has his chance to win the match here. Let's have a look. Well, the 8-ball again, only going into one pocket. So he has to get anywhere down this side of the table. And that needs to just slow up a bit, and that is perfect. Well, surely nothing could go wrong here. Just roll that 8-ball in. And not let the cue ball run away. So finally there's a result in this first match. And Potman wins it by 7 racks to 6. So that's finally all the first round matches over. And well, Tin is playing Simanx. Larry's waiting to play Potman. Potman's getting the 5-ball. And Bedhead's now playing Black Hole. And let's have a look at the one lost side. Well, Semi-Pro is waiting to play the winner of that Columbus Dirties match. Now, he should be favourite to win whoever he plays in that match. We've got WizKid playing Casino Jim. WizKid getting the 6-ball in the one lost side. And it's 1 rack all in that match. Slim is sitting there having beaten a Hero Men Kill in the one lost side, still waiting an opponent. And likewise for Stefan. So there's a few results to come through, and the guys over that side are waiting on losers to come through from this side after some of these matches have taken place. So, well, I think we'll go in and watch the Larry Potman match. Well, Potman is, well, after that first match he's played, he's probably away to the bathroom. The room is up. Potman still not in, Larry's in. So hopefully he gets back in time. Get 5 minutes to get into the room. And he should also be getting his audible alert to let him know that the tournament room is ready for him. Right, let's have a look at this Black Hole guy. Where's he from? Ukraine. C-rated player. How long's he been with us? Over a year. I don't think I've ever seen him. Unless he's taken an age to go back to the tournament bracket. Right, I wonder if he's in the room now. It looks as if he's in the room now. Let's join it. So the match is underway, and well, this is a perfect match here between Larry and Potman. Potman can pot a ball. He's got the age-old problem of just running himself out of shape more often than not when he does have a chance. But he's getting the 5-ball, and if Larry makes a mistake, Potman's certainly more than capable of getting to the 5-ball. The question is whether he's going to get many chances to do that, and That's where this money ball handicap makes a difference in the match. So Popman tried to push the 1 onto the 8 there. He's pushed the 8 away, and Larry's got a shot on the 1. Now the big question is whether he can find a gap to get on that 3 ball. It's very tight at the top end of the table to get a shot on that 3. Now he could go on the short side of the 3. Let's have a look. I think he's got he's too straight. He might have to draw this with Botman left English. He has to maybe draw and go that way with the left English. That's what he's doing, I think. And you see it punching along the line. And that's probably a wee bit too much juice on it, but it's probably as best as he could expect to do. And that's Botman left-hand English punches that cue ball up the table. And Larry not risking it, deciding to keep it tight. But that shot that he played there, at the angle he had, if he just drew back plain ball to go to that cushion, it was only going to go there. You know, it was never going to go up the table, so you have to play that shot with bottom and left English so that when the cue ball hits the rail, it punches it off the line and punches it up that way rather than it going that way out into the middle. And he almost got that right, just get a bit too much juice in it. No, this is not a great shot to get on the 4. It's an awkward angle, cutting back into a blind pocket. And you've got to avoid the 5. It's tight. Yeah, and Larry's played it well. Big draw into that to send the cue ball over to the left rail, avoiding the 5 ball. And now he's got plenty of room to come down the right hand side and just drop onto the 5. And I'm sure the 8 ball goes past the 9. Oh, maybe not. Well, he needs to just get good. He can play the billiard. Now he needs to get high enough up the table. And that looks okay. And I think he should be looking at the billiard here. He's just going to have to tickle this 5 ball in. But if he plays the billiard, he can billiard the 9 in. He's looking to see if the 8... there's no way the 8's going. It's got to be the billiard. And he just has to leave the cue ball somewhere around about here. That would be ideal. And he's almost get into the donut. That is perfect. He can just clip that 8 ball and a little touch in the 9, it will go in. And that's perfect. So Larry off and running. And breaking off in rack number 2. Well, it's dry, and Larry has left Popman absolutely nothing. Stone wall behind the 8 ball, and just to push out. Now, again, I keep saying this every time we watch this as well. You have to get wise with the push outs. Now, the safest shot probably would be to bank up and down to about there, because it's not a great bank, that 1 ball. Well, he's left it more or less there anyway. I didn't think he could get past the 8 to do that, but he's left it to more or less where I'm talking about on that line. That 1 ball isn't a good bank because it's tight to the rail. It's not quite on the rail, but it's not a great bank, so I'd be surprised if Larry goes for it. No, he's looking to tuck this cue ball away, and that looks a good shot. That's very nicely played. Very well controlled. So the only thing Popman had in his favour there was the fact that he could run to that side rail and leave Larry no great shot in the one, but of course he left himself open to that sort of safety shot where Larry's buried him behind those two balls, and the mistake has been made, and Larry's got his reward. He's got ball in hand, and this should be 2-0 in a minute or two. And there's a result came in. 10 against Simanx. Simanx has won by 7 racks to 2. Semi conceded what? Did he concede his other match in the one loss side? No, he's still waiting on an opponent. You still talking about that other match he was playing there against Bedhead? Yeah, Bedhead misses rolls a 9 ball over the pocket, and then Semi-Pro decides to just roll it dead and not play the pot. A bit crazy that to me. See, that sort of shot there that Larry's played, that's a way too far up the table. And I'm telling you, he's only playing shots like that because he's using that ball mouse. It doesn't quite give you the touch that a decent mouse does to play certain shots. I'm convinced of that. And there's the result in. WizKid on the one loss side has beaten Casino Jim by 4 racks to 3, and meanwhile Larry's eventually done what we said he was going to do. He's run out. And Potman didn't get out of the safety that Larry put him in, and that's what gave Larry ball in hand. And Larry has now got himself 2 racks in front. Well, there's nothing doing here for Potman, but he could play a nice little safety on this one, just push it behind the 8. Needs to get off the rail, and he hasn't got there. And Larry shouldn't have been able to see any of this one ball at all on that safe shot. And now, as it is, Larry will have Potman in trouble again here. Well, he's fell short with the cue ball this time. He was looking to get that cue ball on the rail there, behind the 2. But no great damage done, because there's nothing really on here for Potman. Oh dear, what's happened here? Oh, that was bad. Well, the only thing that Potman's done there is nudged onto that 8 with a 1 ball and left the 8 and 4 safe. Because had he not done that, then it would have been a wee bit easier for Larry, because as it is right now, the 2 ball is on the side rail. That has to be a combo on the 7. So Larry's looking around to see what his options are, and well, I think he's going to try and break out the 4 and 7, the 4 and 8 right now, but he's going to have no shot in the 2. Well, that was a strange one. I would have to ask Larry exactly what he was trying to do there. It seems strange that he tried to break out the he would try to break out the 8 and the 4 at that stage. And in the end he left himself no shot in the 2. He'll take that though. That's pretty safe, but it's a good guiding edge there for Popman just to get thin on this 2 ball and get the cue ball in behind the 5. Once again, that control of the pace isn't quite there. Again, the cue ball shouldn't have been looking at this 2 at all. Should have been hidden behind that 5. And Larry's got the pace and got Popman in trouble again. But once again, there's just a feather edge of that 2 ball showing, and Popman should just be able to clip it. Now, has he got the pace this time? Once again, it sneaked out. Well, Larry's not under too much pressure here at the moment because the 4 and the 8's tied up. Of course, the biggest problem that that Larry has is that the 5 ball's wide open, although it's not really get any other balls near it to cause it any worry at the moment that it's going to get knocked in. And the 3 balls in the left hand rail, so nothing's easy here for Popman. Certainly not now that he's stuck behind the 5. But Larry's not feeling in any danger at this precise moment. Well, Popman's got the jump, he's left the 2 ball on, but more importantly, he's left Larry an angle to get into that 3 and 6 and 9 and get them moved. I think he's got... Right, now I don't know how long that had happened, but well, that was meant to say stream, but I just looked at the second monitor there, and the stream had died. Now that I've restarted it, the stream health has went to green, or at least it is for the time being. It's green. Everything seems to be back to normal. And now it's buffering on my end. I think it's just trying to settle down again. No, we can't switch to Twitch because I haven't got Twitch set up. I had it set up a couple of weeks back so that anybody could watch Twitch and YouTube, and so that you could actually, you know, that both viewers could see each other's chat. But it won't. I can't get it set up. It won't work for some reason. I've been trying it the last few days, so I had to decide one way or the other whether to use Twitch or use YouTube. So I just stuck with YouTube. Well, Popman is off and running, trailing by 2 racks to 1 and breaking off in rack number 4. Well, I'm looking at the quality again and it says it's green. Oh, that'll never happen. I mean, if you think about it, right, if you were Steve Chaplin and you went to some of these big companies and, you know, like a big brand table company or a Q company, and you said, we've got a game, I've got a game here, and we're looking for a big name to back us and give us a bit of sponsorship, you know, you know, they're going to think, well, how many people are playing this game of a weeknight? And when you turn around and you say, oh, there's about 30 odd, you get laughed out the door. That's basically what would happen. Or that's basically what has happened probably a good few times. If Steve's ever tried to do that, that's probably what's happened. I mean, he's got his branded Q company. You've got Tiger Q's, the sponsors on the cloth that you see in between racks. But as I said earlier on at the beginning of the stream tonight, you've got Shooter's Pool, where you've got 3 branded companies who've actually got their names on tables. You've got the table design has been copied and put into the game, and you've got branded companies on 3 different tables in Shooter's Pool, and they all look very nice, you know. And it's just a shame that Virtual Pool 4 has been shown the way to do things. You know, Shooter's Pool's doing something different, that's getting the brand names on the tables rather than just playing tables with no, you know. It's a bit like this table looks like a gold crown. It looks like such and such, but it doesn't have the name on it. It doesn't have the logos on it. But like I also said earlier, you know, Shooter's Pool might have that, but it doesn't have the following that VP4 has. I mean, there might only be tens of people difference in it, but if you went to Shooter's Pool right now, I guarantee there's not 15 people in there playing. You'll be lucky if there's double figures, and that's on a Friday night, and that's predominantly European people that are playing it, I think. It doesn't have, well, mainly as well because Americans don't know about it. But it doesn't have the following that VP4 has. Little like the following is, but you know, 30-40 in Virtual Pool 4 would be the average, but you don't get that in Shooter's Pool. But everything looks nicer. The rooms, you know, I don't know. I mean, when you think about it, it doesn't matter how nice everything round about everything looks. It's how it plays. And, you know, I'm so used to Virtual Pool, it's very difficult for me to adapt to something like Shooter's Pool. Whereas there's a lot of people who might try that and have never played Virtual Pool 4 and they think it's great. I just find it too clunky. But if it's the only choice that there is, and that there'll be a day comes when that could be the case, one or either of these games is going to die at some point for whatever reason. You know, you fly by the seat of your pants in terms of how many people are going to play this, and it's how you know, whether the money's going to last to keep the servers up and running. And how much you're prepared to invest in letting people know about the game. Well, I would have to say that from my point of view, Celerus have done whatever they have done has only ever been done locally. When Steve was living over in Los Angeles, it was only ever local stuff that he did in the local in the Hard Times pool hall that he played in, and in the other queue suppliers that he went into, stuff like that. But there's not an awful lot of money been thrown into sponsorship. When you think about it, I mean, I was looking online the other day there. I was looking at Celerus's company information, because obviously the company is registered to Steve Chaplin, because he's the chairman of the company, or the president of the company. And I was looking at the latest information you can get on Celerus, and he's now registered over in where the hell is it now? Augusta, you know, down Georgia. He's now registered in Georgia, and it shows that Celerus employ 10 people. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it basically gives you information that Celerus are a company that employs 10 people. It's registered, obviously, to Steve Chaplin. The company last year, the Celerus Inc., who are the brand company that make and develop games, and Virtual Pool 4 is the game, made about just under $1 million last year. That's how much income that Celerus as a company has supposedly made last year, and or that's the sort of money that they're expecting to make this year coming. Now, that out of that $1 million, let's round it up to $1 million. There's a chunk of that's going to the 10 people that are employed. Now, whether he's including himself as an employee, I don't know. But if there's 10 people employed by Celerus, I would like to know who they are and what they do. But because I've never heard of any more than 2 people working in this game. So, if those facts and figures are correct, what the hell are the other 8 people doing in Virtual Pool 4? It's certainly not advertising and promotion, because we don't get to see any. You know, so... But the other thing it falls back on is the fact that this game it's not a traditional game that you would play online like any other game, like a shooting game or anything like that. The shooting that you do in Virtual Pool, the benefits you'll get from it are through knowledge and learning, and that's where the enjoyment and the fun comes with this game, and learning the skills, learning the movement of the ball, learning to control that cue ball, and improving yourself. But there's so many people want instant gratification with games. That's why games like Virtual Pool and Shooters Pool will always struggle. They will always struggle because the market for them is so small. And that's why crappy billiard games and pool games are always going to be successful. Top-down type games are always going to win hands down because people like that kind of crap. They don't need any skill other than lining a shot up into a pocket, whereas this is a game of skill. I don't care who you talk to play games like this, 3D billiards and pool, it is a game of skill. And you bring what you've learned in real life to this game, and likewise you take what you learn in this game to real life. But it's going to be a struggle in a market where the market isn't there for this type of game. So to have 30 and 40 regularly playing it is pretty good. But I always say, where are all the Japanese? Where are all the Russians? There's a Russian pool game that right now, billiard.net, that Russian game that's got snooker in it and pool, I can guarantee you if you went to that game right now and you googled it, I can bet you there's over 150 people playing it, and they're all pretty much Russian. So they are. Yeah, that's true. I agree with what you're saying there, Simon. Nobody knows about the game. The problem with Virtual Pool 3 is apart from promotion in the States, they actually made a commercial for Virtual Pool 3. That was down to the fact that Virtual Pool 3 had the backing of Interplay at the time. It wouldn't have been Celerus that paid for that advert. It would have been Interplay that paid for it. But now Celerus are on their own. They don't have the money to do that type of marketing. You know. Jeanette Lee, you know, she would have get paid by Interplay when Interplay were responsible for the production of the game and the promotion of the game, they invested money into it back then. That's why they got her name in it and got her name endorsing the game. And that's also why they had the TV commercial made. It wouldn't have been Celeris that did it. I'd be very surprised if Celeris paid any money out to make that and pay for her. Now Celeris don't have anybody. In fact, when you think about it, if you're old enough to remember, it was Mike Siegel and you had Mike Siegel, you had Steve Davis, you had Machine Gun Lou Butera, have all been endorsements of Celeris games over the years. Virtual Pool and Virtual Pool 2. Virtual Snooker, when it was out, Steve Davis and Ronnie O'Sullivan had their faces on the packaging at one time, if I remember. But this game, Virtual Pool 4, the only name it's got in it is what's his name that's doing the training videos, whose name I've totally forgotten. That's the only person that's involved in it that's outside Celeris. But he's only there to try and learn you the rudiments of how to pot a ball. But in terms of outside endorsements, there's really been not a lot. Not a lot at all. Meanwhile, after my ranting and raving, back to the match. Larry's up 4-1 against Potman. I mean, we could talk about this for hours and hours and hours about what needs done. You know, I mean, how many of you guys watching this have actually sat back and thought, well, you know, where's the roadmap for Virtual Pool 4? That's what I'd be asking. You know, I'd be saying to Steve, tell us what the hell you've got planned for the game, because as it is now, this game was launched in 2012, and we've been sitting for, you know, pretty much 5-6 years with not a lot happening. And whose fault's that? You know, I remember talking to Steve and he was talking about, you know, this university sponsorship name that we've got in the tables. CSI, is it, or whatever the hell they are. I remember him talking about all of these people coming to play. I remember him saying he gave away free cereals to all these Japanese people. Where have all the Japs gone? We had, you know, 4 or 5 Japanese players here for a short while. Where the hell have they went to? Where have they gone? You know, what's happened to leagues? I'll tell you, I mean, I mentioned that before. The reason that there's no leagues in Virtual Pool 4 is because there's no ladders. That's basically it. The ladders are there, but nobody's playing them. There's not enough people interested in them. And the reason that there's not enough people interested in them, because there's not anything to be gained from them. That's the biggest problem with Virtual Pool 4 is you get nothing for winning. You get nothing. There's no prizes given. There's nothing. All it is you spending your money. Your money's going into virtual dollars. And the end of the day, you're coming out with nothing. You have nothing tangible for your success or in playing in tournaments. And that's probably the one big thing. You don't win anything in this. I think he had one tournament when the game launched, and there was, what was the prize? Was it a queue or something? We've had nothing since. Nobody's had any prizes that I know of for winning any tournaments other than the money, the virtual dollars that were in the tournament pot. So you know, where's the reward in this game? The reward is how you want to take it. The reward is winning and playing online with your mates. That's where the reward is. But if you're into competitive play, you don't win anything other than points and winning tournaments in here. You can gamble for virtual dollars. You've still got nothing in your pocket when you shut down the game. Well, that's a surefire way of killing off Virtual Pool 4. You know, Virtual Pool 4 is going to go on as long as Steve has the time to be bothered doing this, and he has the money to be bothered doing it. Well, there's no doubt that Steve's got a few bob in the bank. There's no doubt about that, but he probably has a lot more of that from his other work that he's done over the years. He's worked with the aircraft and whatever the hell he was doing, radar stuff and everything like that, big technical stuff. He's obviously made a lot of money doing that sort of stuff. This is probably more of a hobby for him, and has been over the years. But the time is going to come, and it's not going to be too far down the line where at Steve's age he's going to think about retiring. You know, at his age he's what, about what is he, 3-4 years older than me, so he's probably 57, 58. He's knocking on there, and he's at that stage where guys of that time of life, and where you have a few dollars put away, you're thinking about retiring, you know, and going to play golf. So unless he decides to sell the franchise, which he's already had trouble with doing that, had to buy it all back off Interplay, unless he decides to, you know, hold his hands up and sell out to somebody like EA Sports or somebody like that, who might want to put a few bob into a pool game. That would be weird if that ever happened. Then that's the only time he could walk away and say, right, well, there you go, do what you want with it, and have nothing more to do with the game. A company like them would put money into advertising the game, but you'd still have the same problem. More people would know about it, but you know, you're never going to get like a Counter-Strike amount of people on playing. You know, 2,000 playing at a time. It's never going to happen. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are, and how much money you put into it. Well, I think I've did enough ranting and raving. I could rant and rave for hours about what's right and wrong about this game, but none of us have got the solution. But I would like to know the most important thing I would like to know is what the hell is happening with the game. What's Steve working on? You know, we know nothing. I remember him talking about VP4 not being able to survive as it is without something else running on the servers as well. He was talking about other games. I remember him saying that's never happened. You know, that's never seen the light of day. You know, there's lots of things he's spoken about and ideas that he's had, but none of them have ever come out. And it just looks as if we're ticking along doing nothing. Well, Larry's finally won 7 racks to 2. I didn't see much of that match. I was too busy. Once I start ranting and raving, I can't stop. We'll have a quick look at the bracket. So Popman moves over to the one loss side. Larry's now going to play Simanx. Bedhead has beaten Black Hole by 7 racks to 4. So that match has gone pretty much the way I thought it would. Bedhead not going to make too many mistakes. He's obviously made a few for Black Hole to get the 4 racks on the board. But Bedhead is still the favourite to win it, along with Larry and the likes of Semi-Pro and One Pocket Slim, if they all still stay in it. But there's a long way to go in the tournament, and Larry's now going to be playing Simanx and giving him 6 and out. So let's have a look at the one loss side, see if there's anything we go and have a look at. Well, Semi-Pro's now playing Columbus, and Columbus is getting 7 and out, and he's already up 2-1. So let's have a quick look at that. Well, Semi-Pro's got ball in hand. Well, now what you're saying there, Party Marty, about the interface and everything. You know, the thing is, ask yourself the question. Let's say he invested a lot more money in tarting up how everything looks in the lobby and changing all the lobby. Initially, when VP4 was in development, right? When VP4 was in development, Steve was in the Virtual Pool 3 lobby in GameSpy. He was a regular visit. Well, I say regular, he was in it now and again. And he was looking at the layout, and he was asking people, you know, what, and it was on the forum as well, but he was asking people what they would like. And the short answer is that they pretty much wanted it to be fairly similar to GameSpy, a similar sort of setup. You know, you've got the names down the right hand side. The layout was of a similar nature to what GameSpy was. And that was really to make it user friendly to the Virtual Pool regulars, because they had a fair idea that everybody who played Virtual Pool 3 regularly and was playing it online, because the problem with Virtual Pool 3 was a lot of folk couldn't play it online because of you know, router problems and opening ports and all of that crap. But he basically made it to be similar to what GameSpy was like when you came online, in the layout of it. But if he spent, I don't know how many thousands he would have to spend, and how many people he'd maybe have to get working on it to make it look nicer. If it looked nicer, is that going to make more people play online? I don't think so. I don't think it really matters that much at all, because, like I said, that Russian pool game, the actual layout of it is a lot crapper than Virtual Pool 4. In terms of how user friendly it is, probably because a lot of it's in Russian, but they're actually converting a lot of it into English. But that's by the by. The setup in it is a bit confusing for somebody who doesn't speak Russian. But the most important thing there is it's getting more than double, triple the amount of people that are playing it than are playing Virtual Pool 4. And Virtual Pool 4's got a much more user-friendly way of controlling the cue ball and controlling shots than what that Russian game has, that Billiard.net. But yet it still gets over 100 odd people playing it regularly. So there's something, you know, why are all those... I'll tell you another thing. Well, I'll tell you the other big problem with this game. How many games do you play nowadays? And when I talk about games, we're talking about shooters and all of these games. How many of those games are all translated into various languages? Pretty much every game, right? You've probably got... You can play any game that you want now, and the default language is probably English. But if you go into the menu, you can set it for French, German, you name it. And Virtual Pool 4's biggest drawback is language. That's one of the big drawbacks, in my opinion, is that it's all too Americanized. It's all made for one community, and that's the English-speaking world. But you've got Spaniards come in here, you've got Italians come in here, and they're all isolated because, well, A, we can't speak Italian and Spanish and German and Dutch and whatever, but the user interface, unless these people have got a smattering of English or are used to the layout, you know, and even the support side of it, all the support pages and everything, they're only in English. There's nothing to help the casual visitor to this website to get them playing the game. Again, that costs money for translations of the game, and all of that. It doesn't endear itself to attract multinationalities to come to play online, because it's not as user friendly as it could be. There's loads of things wrong here, but you know, we can't come up with the solutions. I want to know what's the roadmap for Virtual Pool 4 for the next year or two. I don't think there is one. If there is, we ain't getting told about it. We're all in the dark. And the other biggest problem Steve's got is is the relationship between him and the visitors to his. I mean, if you look at it, Virtual Pool 4 is a bit like a shop. You come into the shop and you're looking for good customer service and you're looking for good interaction with the salesperson. So Steve's effectively the salesperson. He's got a product and he's got it in the shop window, and here's these people coming into the shop. We're all coming into the lobby. How often does he interact with the public? Little or none. There is no relationship between us and him. You know, nobody knows anything about him. He doesn't interact with anybody at all. In fact, he deliberately refrains from that. And you know, that nature of between him and us and him and his customers, there is nothing. There is no relationship whatsoever. And Shooter's Pool, I mean, I don't go on there often enough to know what it's like on there, but certainly there is non-existent relationship between us and the guy that runs the show. There's none. Absolutely none. Right, Columbus is up 3-2, so semi-pro. Remember, this is race to 4. And he's just scratched there, so Columbus is getting 7 and out. And the only thing in semi-pro's favour here is that the 7 ball isn't in any great position anyway. I don't know whether you guys agree, but I've always been passionate about Virtual Pool, because when I discovered the game, I thought this is the best game it's the best. I've never spent as many hours playing any game that I've ever bought than I have done in Virtual Pool, and I'm talking about since 1995. I've thought it's the best game I've ever spent money on, and I would love to spend money on it again. I think I've got the most enjoyment, the most hours, and the most learning from the most enjoyment I've had is actually learning the game over the years. That's where I've had the most enjoyment, and why I keep coming back to it. I don't get to play it enough now. I don't have the time, my hours aren't suitable, but I still love the game because I still think it's the best. But I agree that if you compare it with the Lucas Shooter's Pool, it is outdated. Even the simple thing that I commented on, you've got stereo sound in Shooter's Pool. We don't have good stereo sound in Virtual Pool 4. And it's only until I played Virtual Pool, Shooter's Pool, that I realised that the sound was a lot better in it than this game. There's a lot of things. I mean, it's still a DirectX 9 game, Virtual Pool 4. And you think about it, Steve's idea was to make it a game to run on crapper computers to attract more people from poorer countries, people that didn't have the money to buy better PCs. The idea was to make it easier for them to play the game. Where are they? You know, that hasn't worked out. You know, we've still only got 30 and 40 people playing it. You know, why doesn't? And I mean, he worked for a short while on making the graphics better, but that made the game too laggy, so that get binned. We tested that for about 3 days and then it gets shelved and we've never seen the light of day. Why is it not a DirectX 12 game? Why hasn't it been upgraded that way to make it better graphics? It still makes it better graphics. It makes it better, you know, it makes it better looking, but it still doesn't attract, you know, 500 people playing it regularly. Yeah, Chinese 8-ball. The Chinese 8-ball table that they've got in Shooter's Pool is bloody brilliant. It is a tough table, but it's a nice table that they've got in it as well. There's a lot of little nice things in it. You know, when you look at it, Shooter's Pool doesn't have the same amount of games that Virtual Pool 4 has, but it's got the popular ones that a lot of people are playing. But again, it's lagging so much in the fact that nobody knows about it. And this is where these games will always struggle. So I sound like a broken record. It's just the same story over and over. But it's sad that we don't get to really know what's happening with this game. A game that, you know, I've pretty much stuck with this game. And I'm talking about the game series since 1995. And I think I came online in 2000. I've been playing this damn game and this series of games for 20 odd years. You know, and other folk like me. People like Larry. I've known, when I say I've known Larry since day one. Because he was there when I first came online. You know, there's people here. We've seen people come and go. People have died here that's played Virtual Pool 4 and Virtual Pool 3 for all the years. It's just sad that it just seems to be treading water and not going anywhere. Right, we're into a final rack decider. Semi-pro breaking off. Right, I'm shutting up here. I'm shutting up for the night because I won't even get to bed now once I start ranting. Right, 2 ball and the 7 has gone. Now semi-pro. Well, looking for some, I don't know whether that was a safety or some sort of attempted bank, but remember that Columbus has the 7 and out. And the 7 has gone. So that's one of his money balls has gone down. So that makes it a little more difficult for Columbus. Well, let's see if Columbus can get to this 7 ball. There's nothing to stop him, but has he got the game to do it? Well, this is going to be the tough one. This is not an easy 4 ball. Blind pocket, and he just needs to roll this in. He needs to watch the pace and doesn't hook himself behind the 8. But this is not easy. He doesn't want to get this cue ball running. Well, he's got it running. And he's hooked himself behind the 6. Well, that's going to be Semi-Pro's lifeline. If Columbus can't kick this 5 ball safe. Oh, that's nudged off the jaw. Well, that is tight. That's extremely tight. Well, he didn't try to pot it. He just tried to nudge it. So now that's dangerous because he's left a combo. He's left a combo and the 8 ball's the other money ball. It's not set as a combo. But in it goes. And that was a poor one. A poor choice of shot by Semi-Pro. And Columbus has won the match by 4 racks to 3. Now, I don't know whether Semi-Pro was thinking there about what he was doing, but it was a bit crazy to nudge the 5 towards the 8 ball when the 8 ball's Columbus's other money ball. Anyway, the result will stand. And meanwhile, over in the bracket, we've got Simanx playing Larry, and Larry's up 3-2. Remember, Larry's given 6 and out. Bedhead's still waiting there for the winner of that match. And back over on the one-loss side, Columbus has moved on to play WizKid. Popman is now playing One Pocket Slim on the one-loss side. So we're going now. I'll tell you guys now, you guys that are still watching, if there's still anybody out there, this is going to be the last match. It's just nudging 10 o'clock, and this will be the last match. of the night between Popman and One Pocket Slim. Race to 4, and Popman is getting the 8 ball. Yep, I'm going to have to pull the plug and get to bed. And the other thing to think about as well is, you know how a lot of these games do Kickstarter nowadays. You've got games on Steam, right? And not just on Steam, but you've got lots of games. You've got especially that Dual Universe game, and what do you call it, Star Citizen. These big space games, big space community games, a bit like No Man's Sky, but much more substantial. If you pay any attention to the gaming world and you look at those games, Star Citizen, I think I'm right in saying, is the biggest sponsorship game in development that there's ever been. If you look at Star Citizen and you look at its Kickstarter campaign, I think it's made millions. And the amount of money that people have invested in that game and the game development of it. You think about a game like Virtual Pool 4. If Virtual Pool 4 or Shooter's Pool, doesn't matter what game it is, but a pool game was starting, and it went on to Steam, or it went into a Kickstarter campaign, I bet you'd be lucky to get a few grand investment. It get practically nothing. That's how much interest there is in pool and billiard games online. Whereas if it's a shooting game and all of those other things, this space travel games, they're getting tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment. And when you think about it, you're not in games like that, you're not learning anything. You know, there's nothing there that's going to develop you and improve you at all. I mean, all you're doing is pretending you're flying a spaceship and you know, building a community and all that sort of stuff. But a game like this is so up against it in the market of gaming today. It's got absolutely no chance of getting any investment on a Kickstarter campaign. Which is why you don't see pool and billiard games on Kickstarter campaigns. That's why. Absolutely slim to zero chance of getting any investment. Anyway, right, see, I mean, I think I've ranted for the last 3 matches now. I don't think I've seen any ball spotted. That's what happens once I get started. How often and what comps do you stream? I basically, I mean, I've got no interest in my channel whatsoever, and that, I mean, I'm not streaming for money. I don't have any sponsorship or nothing. I'm only streaming to do some tournaments and to get things archived. Now, as long as YouTube don't start deleting your videos, everybody's going to have something to look back on when Virtual Pool 4 bites the dust. And I just wish I had done something like that with Virtual Pool 3. I predominantly do some streaming on Virtual Pool 4. I do it as well for the benefit of anybody who's watching who maybe wants to learn a wee bit more. I like to explain the odd shot here or there and what a player's trying to do or what he should be trying to do, and bring some of the knowledge that I've learned over the years to maybe other people who maybe don't know quite as much, and maybe you'll go and practice and try that type of shot, like the shot Larry played earlier on where he had to, just a simple shot if you know what you're doing, where he had to pot that 7 ball, for example, but the angle that he had in the 7 wasn't great. He had to get the cue ball up here, and the only way of doing that is by drawing back and putting bottom left English on the cue ball for it to punch off the rail and get up there, instead of going across that way. Things like the explanations like that are what I like to stream for, and to try and just help people if they ever watch any of my videos. I mean, I'm not, as I say, I'm not in it to get 1,000 subscribers. I do some of the games that I play that nobody's interested in either. No Man's Sky, and I don't do all this big setup. I do some streaming on XSplit Broadcaster. I prefer to use it for 9-ball Scottish doubles because of my little transitions that I've got in it for a wee bit of a laugh. But other than that, it's just purely to pass the time. But for Virtual Pool 4, I like to have, I mean, I've archived as many matches as I could in some of the bigger tournaments that we've had recently, the 9-ball US Open thing and the 8-ball bar table. But again, and you know, you might not be interested now to look back on them, but when Virtual Pool 4 bites the dust, you might be sitting about saying, oh, I remember when we used to play Virtual Pool 4, it was a good game, but not many people played it. By the way, there's some videos up on YouTube, or at least there was at one point. Let's go and look at some of them. That's what will happen in a few years' time. Folk don't think that now, but I mean, you might want to watch something, and there's some good matches. Some good matches up there. Right, we're at 1 rack all, and again, reminding people it's only a race to 4 in the 1 lost side. And well, Potman has missed a 7, but his corner hook Slim on the 7. Let's have a look. Now this could be a big Massey shot to try and hug this cue ball off the rail and nudge onto the 7. He needs to dig right into that cue ball. It needs a lot of dig to get it to spin and spin. You know, he needed it a lot more. It needed a lot more. So Potman's got lucky there. And remember, he's got the 8-ball as his extra money ball. So he's now got ball in hand and really just needs to get the cue. Now he's hitting this dead straight. Now he's okay. Just a straight in 8-ball for a 2-1 lead. Well, a couple of balls have gone in. And I don't think, no, he can't see enough of that 1 ball to pot it, but he can certainly, he can get thin off the 1. Or he can, what's he trying to do, bank this up the table? Hard to see what he's thinking here. Oh, a double kiss. Oh, he'll settle for that. Now, it's an easy kick shot for Slim, but he just needs to get lucky as well. Oh, that is extremely lucky. He'll take that every day of the week. And he's got the cut in the 2. Not an easy one, but he'll be going for it. That was a good shot. Well, this is where we're down to the nitty gritty, because that 7-ball, excuse me, that 7-ball isn't going anywhere, bar that pocket there. It's clean past the 9 on that side. So Slim has to get on the short side of the 7. And, well, he's got a very slim chance of doing that. He's 2 straight in this 5-ball. Now, he could be trying to billiard the 9 in. If he just runs through, he might be trying to billiard the 9 in. No, he's going to dig in. And that was never on. I think his best bet there would have been to roll the 9 in, the 5 in, and get the cue ball down to where the donut is, and billiard the 9 in off the 7. That would have been the shot to play. You've got to sort of sometimes take your medicine. He was trying far too hard there to get somewhere he was never going to get to. He was going to try to get down there for that 7, and it was never on. Never in a million years was he ever going to get down to that 7 ball. But Popman's got the same problem. You see, why is he trying to do something too much there? He just needed to pot the 5 and play the billiard. Get the cue ball to there and play the billiard to pot the 9. Now we know that the 7 doesn't pot past the 9 that side, and he can't get to it anyway because he's stuck behind the 8 ball more or less. Now, the only shot he can play is thin off the 7. It's going to run along off the 9 and get the cue ball back down here. Could have done with running another few inches, but he's not bad. Now maybe that's a guide for Slim here. I think he's going to slam this and try and tuck it along the rail. He's looking at it. It's off the rail. He's going to have a go. This is throwing all your eggs into one basket here. The 8 ball is going to be a good guide. I think that's a perfect guide. If he gets this sweet, it's going in, and it's going in. Perfect. If he misses a 9... Now this is one of these shots where you need to get a lot of drag into the cue ball just to tuck it to that side rail and hold it at the top end of the table for the 9. Well, he's went for the bank. Well, maybe you should have played my suggestion in the first place. But Popman has got another chance, albeit not an easy one. Now, if he takes it long, he's going to be a better angle to get a decent shot in the 9. If he takes it into the middle, he's going to leave this cue ball high. Well, here we go. Oh, I forgot about that. Forgot he only needed a bloody 8 ball, didn't I? I've forgotten again. Then I've done it. I do it every week. Every week I do it. I keep forgetting about the handicap. Anyway, it's 3-1 to Popman. Larry has beaten Simank 7-3. So Larry's now moving across to play Bedhead, so that's going to be the big match. I think that's a hot seat match, is it not? Let's have a look. Where are we? Yes, that's going to be the hot seat match. That's going to be to see who gets to the final between Larry and Bedhead. There's probably not going to be an awful lot in it handicap-wise. I would love to have streamed that match, but unfortunately it's not going to be. Yeah, it wasn't an easy billiard, but see that shot that where the 7 and the 9 ball was. If you know the way I'm talking, that's exactly what's going through my head. I'm looking at you know, rather than trying to do the impossible, than to deal with what you've got. And, you know, Popman there was trying to do... first of all, you had Slim try to do something that was never on. He didn't have the angle to get that cue ball down to this side to play the 7. Because we knew the 7 went past the 9. He had no way of getting the angle to get there, but he still tried to do it. You know, don't try and do the impossible when the impossible simply isn't going to happen. And then that shot that Popman had, all he had to do, in fact, Slim should have just rolled the cue ball through and played that billiard. And Popman had the same option, and he never done it either. And it all ended up in a mess. This is what when I talk in on the game, when I'm doing the commentary, this is what I'm trying to get people to think. Oh, that's a great shot. Slim's kicked to 1 onto the 9. And we're all square and we're into a final rack decider. How's about that? Oh, you don't apologise for them, Slim. You just carry on like you meant it. Right, before I forget, thanks for your company, guys. Thanks for sticking with it. Thanks for listening to my ranting and raving. And no doubt we'll see you again sometime. And this is going to finish just nicely so I can get to bed. Up at 4 AM. I would love to do what do you call it, a 9-ball Scotch doubles on a Monday night, but that ain't happening because nobody's signing up in time for it. I haven't done one of them for quite a while now. Because folk all decide, alright, well, I'm looking for a partner. They're looking for a partner at 2 minutes to 8 when the tournament's just about to shut down. Well, Slim, as long as he can get, well, this 6 balls going in every day of the week, there's not a problem there, but he has to control the pace of this. Now, you either play this a little cheeky soft shot, or you take your medicine and run up and down the table. He has to get this side of the 7. He has to get that side either one way or the other. And he'll take that. It's still not perfect, but it's still better than being in entirely the wrong side. He can just roll it in. Oh dear. Well, how's his luck this time? Well, that 7 ball says bank me every day of the week. That is sitting perfect for the double bank. It's sitting perfect for the straight bank. But it is saying bank me every day you want, and I'm going in. It is nicely off the rail. He's got a nice angle from the cue ball onto it, but he's looking to try and cut it. He's in danger of scratching here, guys. Oh, he's checked it up, and he's ended up, he's going to have to play the reverse bank. And once again, if he plays this one, he's in danger of scratching off this 8 ball. He's got to play it into this opposite pocket. It's got to come this way. And the cue ball's running off down here somewhere, maybe near a pocket. And he only needs this for the match. And I've remembered it this time. And it's gone in. Where's the cue ball? And he's scratched. I told you, commentators, aye, when are you ever going to listen to me? I told you he was going to scratch. I knew it. Well, I finally got something right. So, the reverse bank was always on, but the scratch was always on. And what did Popman do? Bank and scratch. Slim has won the match by 4 racks to 3. We will have a final look at the bracket and a quick update so you guys can nip in and watch Bedhead and Larry. Their match is just underway, so they're still sitting 0-0. And Simanx is sitting there on the one loss side waiting on the winner of Columbus and WizKid. They're 2 racks all. And we've got one pocket Slim now going to play Blackhole, and Blackhole's getting, well, he's getting 5 and out, so Slim's really up against it in that match. So with that, folks, the tournament's still got another, oh, I would say another good hour and a half or more left, because that final is a race to 9, is it not, I think? Yes, it is. So you've got a good 90 minutes left. So with that, guys, I will bid you good night. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again sometime. See you later.